Main character, Sophia, 29. I grew up thinking family was the same as safety. I thought it was unconditional love, a shelter from the world. My parents were well-meaning, my siblings affectionate in their own ways, but there was always an unspoken rule. Appearances mattered more than feelings. I didn't notice it when I was younger. I simply assumed that the tension, the careful words, the judgment behind polite smiles was normal. It was. The first sign came the day my younger brother, Liam, asked me to babysit my niece for the weekend. I agreed happily, excited to spend time with her. But when I arrived, my parents were busy criticizing everything I did. "You're too strict," my mother whispered, as if I didn't hear. "You should let her watch TV more." I shrugged it off. They were my parents. They cared in their own way, right? Then came Christmas. I remember that morning clearly. The smell of cinnamon and pine, the soft light streaming through the kitchen window, my niece, Emma, wearing a sparkly sweater, bouncing with excitement. I carried gifts I had carefully wrapped, handmade crafts, a tiny scarf I knitted myself, a book I knew she would love. My parents barely looked up. My father muttered something about traffic. My mother said nothing at all. Emma was excited, and I knelt down to her level. "I have something for you," I said. She took the gift, her eyes sparkling. Then she spoke words I will never forget. "Grandma says you're not really part of our family." I froze. My niece, 5 years old, repeated my mother's words without hesitation. The room went silent. I looked at my parents. Nothing. No correction, no apology, just a faint smirk on my mother's face, like it was a joke no one else needed to understand. I could feel the color drain from Emma's face. She didn't cry, didn't ask questions. She just stared at the floor. I felt rage, shame, and heartbreak all at once. Not at her, at them. That day, I realized my parents had never truly seen me. They had never seen Emma as an individual, never considered her feelings. They only saw what they wanted: appearances, tradition, control. After Christmas, my husband, Aaron, and I sat in our car. Emma was asleep in the backseat. I gripped the steering wheel, feeling the tension melt into resolve. "I can't do this anymore," I whispered. Aaron didn't interrupt. He just nodded. He had always been my anchor, my calm when storms raged around us. I knew what I had to do. The following weeks were quiet. My parents sent messages asking about gifts, asking about family visits. I ignored them. I had learned, painfully, that silence is often more powerful than words. They didn't understand. They assumed my compliance was delayed. They didn't realize boundaries had been set, not negotiable, not up for discussion. Then the calls started. My mother's voice strained with frustration. "Sophia, why are you ignoring us?" she asked. I remained calm. "I'm protecting Emma," I said. Simple, true. She tried again. "You're being dramatic. We just want to see her." "No," I said firmly. "Not like this." It escalated. My father sent emails filled with guilt and subtle threats, claiming that I was isolating the child, that I was overreacting. I didn't respond. I documented everything, every message, every attempt to manipulate. Aaron helped me organize the files. "If they cross a line, we'll be ready," he said. Weeks turned into months. Slowly, the anger faded into something else: clarity. I saw my parents not as protectors, but as people unwilling to change. People who prioritized control over love. People who would never truly accept Emma. For the first time, I experienced freedom. The quiet moments at home became sacred. Emma's laughter as she played with blocks, the smell of cookies baking, Aaron humming in the kitchen. No tension, no judgment, just life. Then came the unexpected. My mother sent a message on social media, through a friend. She said she missed me, missed our conversations, hoped we could reconnect. But she didn't mention Emma, didn't acknowledge the past. I stared at it, unblinking. I showed Aaron. He said simply, "This is not reconciliation, it's a test." Weeks later, a counselor's letter arrived. My parents had started therapy, working on their issues. They promised change, but I wasn't convinced. Actions mattered more than words. I finally agreed to a short meeting in a neutral space. No children, no expectation. I wanted to see sincerity, not performance. The meeting was brief. They spoke carefully, cautiously. They admitted some wrongs, named some hurt, but they couldn't name Emma's experience, couldn't truly acknowledge the harm done. I realized then what I had known all along. I couldn't force growth, couldn't control change, couldn't rely on apologies to protect my child. We left quietly. Emma played with her toys, oblivious to the drama, yet safe because I had chosen to protect her. Months passed. Life continued. Our days were full of ordinary moments that felt extraordinary because they were free of judgment. We went to the park, read bedtime stories, and shared laughter that wasn't borrowed from someone else's approval. I watched Emma thrive, her joy unburdened by the weight of expectations she never asked for. I realized that love isn't about endurance, it's about safety. It's about freedom. By the following Christmas, I understood something profound. Family is not defined by blood or proximity. It's defined by respect, by protection, by the absence of harm. We celebrated quietly, intentionally, surrounded by our chosen family, friends, neighbors, those who valued presence over performance. The warmth of the house was ours alone. Emma opened gifts, unshadowed by tension. She laughed, danced, and drew pictures just for the joy of it. And I knew, finally, that walking away had not been an act of anger or betrayal. It had been an act of love. Love for myself, love for Aaron, love for Emma. No one could take that from me. No one could manipulate that. No one could borrow it for convenience. For the first time, I felt whole.